This is NOScast here, episode like 27, 27, 26. One of those.
Episode 6.
Episode
It's the
6.
reboot. Yeah, it's the reboot.
It's 30 boo?
Yeah, the reboot.
The reboot. So, how long has it been since, like, what, a week? 2 weeks, maybe?
3?
3 weeks? Has it been 3 weeks?
I think so.
Well, in the last 3 weeks, since the last NOScast, how you been?
All right.
You're out of school, right? It's, Thanksgiving and the whole
Yeah,
shit.
I'm out. Not until next week.
Okay. That's good. You doing good in school?
I think so.
You think so? Well,
Yeah,
did you do good in your tests?
I'm passing.
You're passing.
Yeah, last I checked, I got all A's. So
The last you checked, you got all A's. Well, that should be a very good thing, isn't it? It should be a very good thing. So,
yeah.
alright. So to get onto our first thing we're gonna talk about, since I'm like kind of doing a little bullshit, but we're gonna talk about Modern Warfare 3. So,
Well,
since it came out and everything else, what have you heard about Modern Warfare 3? Since I've played the game in the whole snap, but what have you heard about it?
nothing.
Nothing good, nothing bad.
Haven't really been looking into it.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Mr. Itchy, it sucks.
Does it?
It sucks. It's kind of, well, so you know how we're talking about the new Modern Warfare 3, if anyone's listening, the new Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 3 2023. It sucks.
I did see some gameplay of it, and
Mhm.
it honestly, it doesn't look much different than Modern Warfare 2, except the text on the screen, the pop-up text, when you get kills and shit. They changed that to make it look like the old Modern Warfare 3 type look, because that's what they did back then. They made the text a little different, and that's the only thing that makes it look different.
Yeah.
Honestly. And
But
then
other
I
than
hear
that,
the menus are just as bad as Modern Warfare 2.
oh, definitely, the menus are just as bad as Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2's. The menus are terrible. The menus, I'll put it this way. You know the YouTuber or Twitch streamer, how you want to look at him, the Dr. Disrespect dude, the one that wears the wig.
Yeah.
He was having such a hard time going through the menus in that game, which says a lot because he's a big person and whatnot. And he was having a hard time going through those whole menus. He literally made a 10-minute video on because he was having problems. I was laughing my ass off. It's actually pretty funny if you actually watch it, because he was trying to play the campaign. Because the campaign came out a week earlier. He was trying to play the campaign, and he couldn't play it. There was some bullshit thing going on with Call of Duty or whatever. So, I don't know, but I didn't have any problems. But there was some bullshit thing going on with Call of Duty, and he made a 10-minute video of it, and that was hella funny. It was really, really funny. But it's besides all that, I kind of got off topic. But besides all that, it's actually pretty bad. The campaign sucks. It's mid. It seems rushed. It seems very. They put shit in there to fill it in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it kind of there is their cutscenes. Where the game obviously looks beautiful. Of course, the game it's gonna look beautiful, but the meat and potatoes, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. The movement is cool. The gameplay movement is is not top tier, but it's tier, of course. But when you put SBMM into it and you're sweating your fucking balls off for 8 hours straight, even though I only play for 4 hours maybe, you start to get very disinterested, that you don't want to play. And plus, I've been having problems with like the PC like my friends Andrew and Kalen port.
Right.
I mean the PC port. Like my friends Andrew and Kalen don't have no problems on PlayStation,
Okay.
but I have problems. Like on the PC port wise, I have problems. Like
Like
my
what? Explain your problem.
my game keeps crashing for one thing because it uses all the RAM. And even though I'm having like a fucking the Ubisoft the fucking OBS up, which uses maybe over a gig of RAM possibly, it still uses all the RAM, so my game crashes. I have to put
How
my
much shit do you got running in the background?
OBS, BattleNet, in the game basically. Sometimes I
So
was
when you pull up Task Manager,
yeah. It's usually I'm using Internet Explorer or the browser shit is up. The OBS is up. And I'm not even streaming sometimes either, by the way. I'm not even streaming sometimes. The OBS is just up. It's just there. BattleNet, Discord, and the Task Manager is up. And Modern Warfare 3 is up. So that's like 5, 6 things.
okay, so
And my game crashes. So, a lot. I have to bring down all the graphics just so my game can be stable. Yeah, I don't know if that's a PC port problem or that's just me because I have a 4070 Ti. The only thing that holds that thing back is my i5 10th generation.
well,
Which
it's asking for a 60. Your i5 shouldn't matter, because it's saying that's within its because the Ryzen 5 1600, which is worse than the one I got.
which is
What? Which
AMD.
you have a 10th generation?
Yeah.
So like what? The 6. So it's asking for Intel. It's asking for the 6th generation i5. So like you're definitely good there. Its minimum is an RX 480 or a 1650, or not minimum, but that's it's recommended.
So I'm good there also.
Right. Or it's asking for a GTX 970, which is worse than, well, I'd say a 970 is about somewhere a little worse, a little better than mine, depending on what you're asking. You should be good there, but it's needing, it says it needs 12 gigs of RAM. How much you have? 16 gigs, right?
Yeah.
So you should be fine. But like, how much? You should check what your idle is. I mean, obviously you can't now. Like, you're running stuff.
yeah. I'll check. We'll check all that later. But idle as in what?
Like when you have nothing running whatsoever.
Okay. Well, if I go to like the task manager, this is mostly like I would say I'm at idling because I'm literally doing nothing besides recording. Okay, which yes, recording takes some process.
You're capturing a whole screen.
Yeah, I'm capturing a whole screen, which is taking some process, but it's not taking nearly as much process at all.
Right.
Which my CPU is at 14% and my graphics card is at 40%.
You want to look at your memory idle because that's what we're talking
and
about.
I'm idling at 7.6 gigs of memory as of right now.
7.6. So
Yeah.
You're almost using half of it right now.
Just by recording.
Right.
So
right, and then add 12 gigs to that.
But this is just recording though. We're not
right. Add 12 gigs to that.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, you're going over. Which I mean, it'll work going over. Then you're gonna be using like your swap space, right? So like but swap space is slow.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm thinking, to be exact, I probably need to get me more memory. More RAM. More RAM. That could be it too. More RAM. That's what I'm thinking. I need more RAM.
You're good on the VRAM, your graphics card RAM, because it's only asking for 3 gigs of graphics card RAM.
Yeah. So like,
Your
I probably
has like 6, doesn't it? Or like it has 8 or something like that.
I think 16. I could be wrong on that. It could be 16, If I go check real
I
quick,
doubt it.
actually, yeah, I probably doubt it too. But about
4070.
so it doesn't say. It doesn't say.
RTX 4070. It has 12 gigs of RAM.
Okay,
12 gigs of VRAM.
so I'm good. I thought I would be able to go to the about settings and be able to look at it, but no, I can't. But yeah. So basically, to be honest, I need more RAM. I think that's probably the real big issue, is that I need more
Well,
RAM.
yeah, especially if you're doing all that like on top of it, like stream
Hmm.
your recording and stuff, and like
Yeah,
what 7 gigs of using
that's
OBS.
that's recording. I'm recording. That's not even streaming. Streaming, I'm probably even using less than that.
Right.
So to be honest, with Cold War, Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops 3, even Modern Warfare 2, I never had an issue. Never had an issue with crashing and if that matter, and just never had an issue in general. It was when Modern Warfare 3 came out, I started having an issue with all that. You know what I'm saying? With crashing, with graphic memory or whatever the fuck, of RAM. Now I started having issues, and I don't know if it's a PC port that I'm having issues with, or it's just or my PC. I don't know.
Have you
Because
checked your? I know you recently, but I don't know if you've checked again even more recently. The drivers, the graphics card drivers.
no, I haven't checked recently. I did just update my PC, but I haven't checked the graphics card drivers at all. I go like maybe weeks without checking because like I kind of forget. And
Right.
like
Because I mean, I doubt that it's using that much RAM all the time, like that
mhm,
maximum number, that 12 gigs that it's asking for.
mhm,
Um, but even so, if you're idling at 7 with using your OBS and everything,
mhm,
if you add 12 to that, that goes over.
yeah,
You go over, shit starts to slow down because you got to go into swap space. I don't even know how much swap space you got. But like that's going to go into your hard drive, and the hard drive is a lot slower than the RAM. And
that is true. Well,
yeah,
I don't know. Like I do need more RAM. Like to be front about it, I do need more RAM. Like because what I'm trying to do, but at the same time, I do need another like a new CPU because my i5 isn't like cutting anymore from what it looks like. It's
what I'm
not.
telling you right now is your i5 is just fine for that game.
Yeah. Well, probably I just need more RAM. But anyway, like I don't know if it's the PC port that they fucked up on or if it's just me.
Right. Well, I mean, if you look around, you see a lot of other people complaining about it. But like, really, like, how many times have you played it without having OBS open? And does it do it when you don't have OBS open? Because I'm pretty sure it's your RAM. Because if you're idling at 7, like I'm sure you could get your idle down by closing shit out, like in your from your task manager.
Well, yeah. All I really need to close out is Microsoft Edge and maybe Discord, and that's about it. Because I don't have voice mod. Voice mod is not on, which I closed that out already. That's all I really need to do. And Discord uses 4.5% of no, I'm wrong. 300 megabytes of memory. Battle.net uses 155 megabytes of memory. Microsoft Edge uses almost a gig of memory. So
Right, but
like
anytime you use the internet, right,
you have to use yeah, I get it.
Edge will open. Even if you don't have Edge open on your screen, like Edge is open anytime you're connecting to the internet.
Yeah. So that has to be used no matter what to a degree. But I don't know. But at the same time like Modern Warfare Z Zombies is basically DMZ.
Yeah, I saw that from
It's
when they were
basically
announcing
it's
it and shit.
basically DMZ, which I guess that's cool, but it's like I don't know. It just seems like Modern Warfare 2023
AZ.
is just a DLC for Modern Warfare 2022.
That's what that was supposed to be. That's why it's not worth like shit. Okay, so even back in the day, before they started doing the 3-year cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would go back and forth between like one studio and the other,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it would be like, oh, the Treyarch's releasing the game, Infinity Ward's releasing the game.
Mm-hmm.
That pretty much means each game has 2 years to be made, right?
Yes. And now they brought Sledgehammer in.
Right. But then they go and make this game, right?
You're talking
So
about Modern
they,
Warfare 20, Modern Warfare 3?
yeah. So
Okay.
like Modern Warfare 2 came out, and they only had a year to get Modern Warfare 3 ready. Like it's pretty much running on the same engine and everything, right? Like, and that being said, it shouldn't have this many problems on your machine. Being said, because like it's pretty much the same fucking game.
But see, but what they're doing different. So like, okay, so you know how Warzone was like the app making all these games come together. You know what I'm saying? From Modern Warfare 2019 to Cold War to Vanguard. You know what I'm saying? Now, Warzone's not the only thing keeping these games together. The app, this Call of Duty app they're making, or so-called what it is keeping all these games. It's not even just Warzone anymore. It's this Call of Duty app thing that they made. It's keeping every game together. So you're piling on from a game to another game to another game to another game, you know, so on and so forth. So it's just one big ass app that has multiple
Right.
games onto it now. You know what I'm saying? The
But
only game, well,
it
it has.
doesn't actually, because you should know from playing on PC, right? When you go on there and you see like the different game icons, and you can go swap between them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your PC literally loads up the separate game.
Exactly. But you download that game from that app. You can
Right.
uninstall it, but it's just one app. You know what I'm saying?
With with links to the other games. That shouldn't be what's affecting it.
It shouldn't, but we don't know. You know what I'm saying? It
I
shouldn't.
mean, with how shitty their menus are to begin with, because I don't think that's the reason why it's that laggy. But like their menus are very laggy.
Well, to be honest, I don't know. You would know. You would know more than me because you're more of a computer smart than I am. Like 10 times more than I am. So I only know the basic of basic. Like I know a lot more because you've taught me, but I still know the basic. You know a lot more because you study computer science. You study all this
Right.
stuff. So you would know way more than I do.
I mean, I'm only going off assumptions. I mean, I don't know what the code for Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2 looks like.
No. But I don't know, like it just seems weird. And like there's no it just seems like there's no separation between the games.
Right.
You go into Call of Duty and you have Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 right next to each other. You know?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, in Modern Warfare 2018 and Cold War and Vanguard, there was at least some type of separation between the games. Even though Warzone did make them all come together, there was still some separation. With this new,
Like what?
okay, so you can go between each game within that other game. So if if you have them all digitally, okay, from Modern Warfare 2019 you can go to Cold War. From Cold War you can go back to Modern Warfare 2019. From Modern Warfare 2019 you can go to Vanguard. From Modern Warfare 2019 you can go to Warzone. From Cold War you can go to Warzone. From Vanguard, you know, there was at least they were together, but there was some separation. Each app was different. With this new app, Call of Duty, you have Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 both basically in the same app, which makes the app even bigger. So you have two big ass games on one app. You know what I'm saying? At least Warzone, you just put guns into it. It wasn't it was Modern Warfare 2019, but it was Cold War. They just put guns into it in skins, and then Vanguard and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So like now, and then you have this Call of Duty app, which basically just puts everything together. There's no separation, which I guess that's cool, but it's like, you know, what are we trying to do? Some World of Warcraft or Destiny shit where it's just like there's no separation between anything? Everything's just basically a DLC if you want to really look at it. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, at least Destiny 2 is Destiny 2. There's no Destiny 3, but it's in Destiny 2 app. Like, no, that, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but
It's,
remember when Modern Warfare 2 came out and they were it was supposed to be a DLC anyway when this
yeah, it
game
was
came.
supposed to be a DLC, but Modern Warfare 2 did so damn bad from what we saw or whatever the fuck. They, even though they butchered that shit a lot, it did so damn bad, they were like, fuck, we're going to make Modern Warfare 3 its standalone game. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be a DLC, and it should have still been a really DLC, but no, they made this big old thing and got all this money out of it because Modern Warfare 2 did so bad. Even though Modern Warfare 2 was an
It
alright
didn't
game.
do bad. It just didn't perform the way they wanted because
Exactly. It
it
didn't.
didn't do bad at all because it profited day one.
Exactly. Like, if you look at numbers, yes, it didn't do bad at all. But if you look at it at another standpoint, it did terrible.
Just
You know
because it didn't they expected.
Yeah. So they
Funny,
it's kind of like, well, if you kind of look at it, when Infinite Warfare came out, they had Modern Warfare Master put into it because they knew Infinite Warfare was going to do bad. That isn't the same thing, but if you look at it, they're like, well, we're going to make Modern Warfare 3, you know, an actual game, not a DLC anymore because Modern Warfare 2 did so bad. So to buff Modern Warfare 2 in a bit, and to buff the DLC, we're just going to make it its own game.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
News.
Huh?
Noble's wanting to hop in here.
No, I'm good.
No?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay then. I'll let him know.
Off to another subject. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Since just
My brother's coming home for a bit.
yeah.
Thanksgiving. He's going to his girlfriend's place Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm going up to my uncle's, and then my brother will be home until right after his birthday.
Mhm.
And then that's what's up.
That's what's popping. I'm drinking right now, so.
Are you really?
Yes, I am drinking. I am drinking because there's not. To me, like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm nowhere near because I don't drink every day. You know, I don't drink 5 cases a day. Like, no, I'm not out. But like, that's just sometimes how I get over my problems. Is, you know, have a little alcohol, not too much to where I'm like,
Your problems, like,
yeah, like, you know, world problems. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know,
right?
you
With
got you know, problems that you're going through, or whatever, and you're just like, well, I'm just gonna have some alcohol. No matter if it's beer or some wine coolers or some liquor, you know what I'm saying? Just have some alcohol and just call it a day.
So you be popping shots?
No, no, no. Like I said, I'm not an alcoholic. Like, usually on the days that I work, I don't really drink beer. Or I
Right.
drink alcohol. My bad. I don't really drink alcohol because I have work that night, so I just don't drink the alcohol. Or I just don't do it. But sometimes I'll just have one here and there just for the fuck of it. Just, you know, to get me through the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then, you know, like, I'm cool after. You get what I'm saying? But sometimes, you know, on my days off, I'm like, well, I have more than I usually have on the day that I work because I don't have work that night. So I'll just like, you know, fuck it. I'll just have some alcohol and whatnot. But also I do it because to get away from my problems, you know. But I'm not an alcoholic. I don't like drink. I just drink enough where I'm numb. If that makes sense. I'm not blacked out drunk, but I'm numb. You know what I'm saying? Or I have some weed and
Or
whatnot.
have? When's the last time you had weed?
It's been a couple months actually, because me and my brother you would smoke some weed together, and now I've kind of just not smoked with him as of lately and whatnot. So
I
I
Yeah.
just go to alcohol and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But like even like with weed, like I use that to get away from my problems and whatnot. It's not like I don't want to deal with my problems. That's not it at all. It's just.
Yeah, that's when you have a problem. It's when you don't want to deal with your problems.
But do you like dealing with your problems?
It's not that you like to deal with your problems, it's that you deal with them anyways. Like, putting your problems off isn't the healthiest thing.
Well, no, putting your problems off isn't the healthiest thing. But like shit, my manager, his name is Alex, which his thing is Sir Charles on Call of Duty. You've probably
Okay.
seen the videos I've done of him. Every time I'm on the game with him, he drinks. He's
You're
drinking.
saying he has a problem?
He probably
Or
has
he's
a
like,
problem. He probably has a problem. Because every time I'm on the game with him, that dude is drinking. And it's 8 a.m.
oh yeah.
It's 8 a.m. But
drinking.
if you
But he
really.
works nights with you,
Yeah,
doesn't
he works nights.
So that's his night.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you really look at it, it's 8 a.m. Like, like it's kind of like.
He gets home and like you said with your dad is like, oh yeah, he gets home, he wants to have a beer.
My dad would be having a beer at 4 a.m. sometimes. Like, you would get him at 4 a.m., that dude would pop a beer and fucking, not chug it, but, drink it down and shit, I'm just like, damn. But, like, I was always taught, like, yeah, there's a slogan, if it's 5 p.m. somewhere, or it's 5 somewhere, that's true, but at the same time, you don't want to be drinking alcohol at, like, 7 a.m. Like, damn, like, come on now. Let's have some
Right.
dignity here, but at the same time, I understand. And whatnot, like, pop a beer at 4 a.m. and drink and then fall asleep for 7 hours. So, I get it. I'll probably do it too. But at the same time, I'm just like, well, I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to, like, I don't need to drink. Like, I don't need alcohol in my life. But I choose to have it in my life just so I can have some fun. I work my ass off. There's nothing wrong with drinking some alcohol and watching a movie or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just chill the fuck out.
Right. Numb your mind a little bit. Don't think. I mean, because you have a problem. Because like if it makes you feel bad, because like that is a depressing. So like people drink it right to like make themselves feel better about things and shit, right? But like its side effects are actually the exact opposite.
It makes you feel worse.
Yeah.
Which that comes, I guess you could say that comes into play too. Like you. Like, I don't know, like, what is it called? Like, what isn't it ADD that's someone that has attention disorder, or isn't ADD where like you're walking
Attention deficit disorder.
attention deficit?
Yeah.
Which one of my coworker associates accuses me of having ADD, where I'm having attention deficit disorder.
Have you ever been like diagnosed?
No,
I mean,
I
because I
never.
know I have a diagnosis. I have it on paper.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't have a diagnosis of having ADD, but he accuses me of having ADD. I'm like, I don't have ADD. And the only thing he accused me because I'll walk by shit and I'll stop and look at it and be like, they're advertising fucking, I don't know, Jesus was advertising PUBG, which I can't believe they're still advertising that game, but they're still there. So it's just like, I was like, they're still advertising fucking PUBG, like, cool. And the dude just came out of nowhere, you got ADD. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Every time I see you walk past something and you fucking have to watch and look at it and fucking, I'm like, how does that mean I have ADD though? You know what I'm saying?
it doesn't like.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. But
Because I mean, like when people say like everybody's got a little, like really, because with those type of diagnoses, it's like the severity of it, right, is what really matters. Like everybody gets distracted sometimes, right? But
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like how, like, but he was accusing me of having. I was like, I don't have it, and he was like, no, you have it, and I was like, I don't have ADD, just because I stopped and looked at something. He was like, well, you've done that multiple times. Every time you've been here, you've done it sometimes. I was like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I have ADD. Like, yeah, my mind kind of races a little bit. I think about shit and when but that doesn't mean I have ADD or whatever. I don't know. I go through.
I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe
I
you
don't
don't.
know if I even have depression. I don't know. Sometimes I like.
Well, again, that's again like a severity because everybody gets a little depressed, right? But like, not doesn't mean just because you get depressed doesn't mean you got depression.
No,
It's a
no,
severity
but
thing.
it's just like I don't know. Like when I'm at work, I go like some people use work to get away from their problems, and I do that too. Like who doesn't do that? But at the same time, my problems do come to work, and I'm like at work stalking, like minding my own business. All of a sudden, like I have thoughts going through my head, like kind of
But god dang,
like what the fuck type thoughts, like negative thoughts, or like like whatever fuck, and I start getting like I don't know, I start becoming a zombie a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck, like I'm just like, whoa, like it's kind of like crazy a little bit because like
you get
I
like
get
waves
yeah, like
of
waves of negativity. Like I don't know, like I don't know if it's
I mean, what you
bipolar
go
too,
from, yeah, because like if you go from like feeling happy and then out of nowhere you feel sad or some shit like that, because like that might be bipolar.
but it's like it doesn't happen a lot. Like it kind of varies a little bit. But like when I'm at work and I'm just in my zone type shit, I kind of go through like some thoughts of like my life or like some negative thoughts or whatever, and I'm like, and I start getting kind of not emotional, but I start getting kind of like a little sad a little bit or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with me? Like, and then all of a
Like
sudden,
what are you thinking about? Like what
like, well, like, okay, so like my parents like was like, because I live with my parents, like, and
right, right.
they're like, we're happy for you that you're working, you got
And
you got a
that's
job,
getting all set
and
in your
you
mind, right?
yeah, and you got a car and you're paying bills, and of course, but I'm not, not my phone bill, electricity bill, but bills. But it's just
And
like to like, this isn't gonna last forever. Like you're gonna have to eventually get your own place, get your
right.
own life. Like I know people that still stay with their parents till this day, and they're like 40 years old, and they still stay with their parents. They still haven't got the fuck, and their children's got the fuck out the house. Their own children has got out, but they still live in the house that they've been living in all their life. So it's just like, you know, I don't want to be like that, but at the same time, with the income I have at Walmart, it's hard to get out of that. It's hard to get out of that spot, even though, yeah, go look for another job. Go look for a better job. Cool. But it's not as easy as just go look for a better job. You have to go and find that shit. And sometimes you need a description of, well, in that description, I don't have this, I don't have that, so I can't get this job. Or I need this, but I don't have that. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying?
some things you can kind of, get around because like they'll say they want, but not everything. You can't go and like go to a place that's asking for a CDL. Say you have a CDL,
Yeah,
like
like of course, like you gotta go get that, but it's just like at the same time, like my parents, like when I retired, my dad, they're only on my dad's income. My mom was a nurse, or well, not a nurse, but she did some shit with some type of nurse shit, but she wasn't a nurse, and she made big money, but she's not, she doesn't do that anymore, so they're not paying her, so it's just like they're only relying on my dad's income. My dad's not making the same amount of money he's making when he was working because he's retired, and they can't
right,
just blow $6,000 a month every month because it doesn't work like that, you know. So like
right,
they're on a fixed fractional income now, and they're like,
right. Fixed income.
yeah, fit income or whatever the fuck it's called. They're like, you gotta go find your own place. You gotta go get a better job. You have to, go get your own life. Your big sister did, now y'all gotta do it. You know, they're like, well, Jenna's stuck with us because she's in college, so we're not really worrying about her. But, you know, eventually she's going to have to go do that too. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, my dad got lucky. He got into Ports of Oakland, the whole shit, and was able to make big bucks and retired at 60 years old and call it a day. Like, you know, he did his duties. Now I gotta do my duties, and my brother George gotta do his, and everyone else, you gotta do yours, and you know, we all gotta do our duties, and not all of us get successful or get lucky to be able to retire at 67 or 62 and call it a day. Like, not all of us get lucky to do that, you know. So it's just like, and I get where my parents are coming from, but it's also like, you know, were you gonna just kick us out on the street and say, how, you know, sayonara, like, hope you get what you need, or good luck, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think my parents would do that because they don't seem like that type of people, but just like, you know, I kind of
just trying to nudge you into that direction.
Well, it's not like I don't want to get the fuck out of this house. I do, but it's like, it's not possible right now.
Well, you're saying, like, yeah. So, like, you want to do all these upgrades. You want to get new motherboard and everything like that. And it's like, I mean, sometimes you could wait on things like that, right? I mean,
well,
of course,
true.
like you're kind of forced to wait on getting, like, but, like, you buy so much shit that you don't need, right?
Well, like, true. Like, of course, like, I could wait, and, like, at the same time, I could do a lot of stuff, and I don't do it because I'm just like, fuck it type shit. And that's like kind of like my biggest problem is I kind of just say fuck it. You know, I'll deal with it later. Or I'll just be like, well, I'll deal with the problem later and just do what I want to do.
Are you ready for dinner?
Yeah.
Okay, it's ready.
Okay. So,
Go get your dinner. we'll take a pause.
My dad was like, the podcaster's ready. I'm like, are you serious? Alright, we're going to take a quick break. We are back. We are back, people. We are back. Okay.
Podcaster's ready.
Podcaster's ready. So, I got my food. But, alright. Oh, you said be right back. BRB.
That was a while ago.
Okay.
Because I tried to hook up with my headset, but my mic wasn't working. Like, I could hear you through the headset, but the mic wasn't working. It was being weird.
You gotta fix that itch. You gotta fix that.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, shit. I'm not dying. I'm not dying. Okay, I'm good. You guys almost heard me down the podcast. Oh, shit.
See, that would have probably gotten you a lot of viewers.
I don't know. If it's not edited, I don't think no one's going to hear it. But, anyway. So, back to our site. Like, I don't know if I do go through depression or go through a sadness shit or whatever.
Well, I mean, let's list off the facts. Like, you have a hard time taking action on things that you know would help you. Like, you have, like, a roadblock, and that roadblock could be, like, the root of your, like, it's you at the end of the day that's putting out that roadblock. Nothing's stopping you but yourself. Is it depression? I don't know. I can't say specifically yes or no, but it is a problem that only you are causing.
And that roadblock will be roadblocking what? As in, like,
you taking your steps.
Yeah. Into pursuing something better in the world.
Yeah, because there's been, like, a lot of time, like, when you first started Walmart, for instance, like, you're like, oh, I don't want to work for Walmart forever. You didn't expect you'd be there as long as you have.
No.
You didn't want to be there as long as you have. And, like, yeah, I know it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And sometimes it's hard to fucking just do something.
Well, it's like, like don't get me wrong, like Walmart is cool, but it's not. Walmart's not a career unless you get to like the bigger management shit where you're making big fucking money. Okay, yeah, it could be a career, but unless you get there,
Right. What's the likelihood? Because like, yeah, they say there is ways up. You can move up and stuff like that. But in all honesty, what is the likelihood of moving up?
it's very slim. Like
How many people move up?
not a lot. Plus, like
Exactly.
if you want to move up, you most likely have to go to a whole different store to even get to that next area in there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because that store can only have so many team leads and so many coaches, and you know what I'm saying. Like you can't, like the whole store can't just be surrounded by team leads and coaches. Like that's not possible. You have to have regular
Right.
associates. So it's like to get into that shit, you kind of have to like venture out to other stores and to other cities and see this Walmart's hiring team leads, this Walmart's hiring coaches, this Walmart's hiring different whatever type of management, and you would have to go there and apply it and shit. But do I want to become a manager for Walmart? Probably not, because then it's just a lot more stress and work that you have to do because like they're gonna rely on you more than like a regular ass associate. You know what I'm saying? So like,
You got more paperwork.
yeah, you got more paper you gotta do. You got more stuff that you got. You have to be more disciplined a lot more than just a regular associate. Even though, yeah,
You
you
don't
have.
see yourself. You don't see yourself getting more discipline.
It's not even more discipline. It's, do I see myself working for Walmart for the rest of my life? And I don't see myself doing that. You know what
So
I'm saying?
you already see yourself like that. Like, I mean, we've talked about this many times in the past about looking for it, and I know you've gone halfway. Like you've not even like you've gone like a quarter of the way to like looking for other jobs, right? Like you've applied to other places.
Well, yeah, but it's like, to me, like, I want a life. I want a life. Working at
And what does that
Walmart,
mean?
having a life is be able, like my dad, for example, working at the Ports of Oakland. He was really able to do whatever he wanted to do. As in, how many times he was able to go on vacation, how many times he was able to take days off. He was his freely was out of this world. He was able to do whatever he wanted because they didn't give a fuck. As long as you came to work and did your duties, they don't care. They would get someone else to take his spot like that if he didn't want to come in. But it's not like his spot's actually taken. It's just, for that day, he's John. Or like for that day, they take my dad's spot. And then when he comes back, he's good. But at the same time, Walmart's not like that. They have a thing because they're, a market.
They got a tight.
Yeah,
they
they
got
have a
tight,
type. They are a market.
Yeah.
Their obligations are to make money, which my dad's job is obligations to make money too. But their obligation isn't Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July,
Right.
Mother's
You
Day.
work for
Like,
direct to consumer. I mean, you work in a consumer market. Your dad worked in like he worked and he brought in stuff that maybe Walmart was buying.
exactly.
Which honestly, I would say your dad's job is a lot more important than any job at Walmart. Anyway, because like, yeah,
Exactly.
like that's
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a consumer market that I work for. So their obligations is to make money. And the big bucks are Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, 4th of July. Like, that's where the big money is at. That's where they make all their sales. Like, yeah, they do make sales throughout the other days and months, but their big sales are those days, and Black Friday, of course.
mhm.
So your obligations are those, shit. And if you do not work on those days, you're not going to make any money. They'll lose out on money. So,
Right. people need to grocery shop every week, but like
Exactly.
not every week is people needing to
Not every week is
buy
Thanksgiving.
big ticket.
Not every
Yeah,
week
not
is
every
Mother's Day.
yeah.
Which, that's cool. But at the same time, it's just like,
In those holidays are the type of times that people typically want to get off, but like at a place like Walmart or like
you
even like
can't
food,
you
yeah,
can't do that because you're obligated to work those days because they need people those days. So,
and
at this
nobody's gonna be willing to trade spots with you if they
hell
got those
no.
days off.
Hell no. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can get obligated to get those days off, then you're cool. But you're not gonna get those days off. Unless unless you got managers that really don't give a fuck and just, all hell goes loose type shit. Which that doesn't happen either. Because it's Walmart. They're not gonna let that happen. My dad could take any days off he wanted to. I was able to go see my family, like LA and whatnot, on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, on Halloween, like 4th of July. Like, he was able to take days off, whatever he wanted to. And his job was, alright, have fun, cool, sayonara. Like, no big deal. I have to wait for PPTO/PTO to come in to even get to that area. And it has to be approved of at that. So if they don't approve my vacation, I can't go.
That's a lot of places, bro. That's a lot of places.
But at the same time, my dad's job, no. If he wanted to go on vacation, go have fun. We'll find someone else to take your spot for how many days you're gone for. And they do. Because they always have people there ready to work. Ready to take that spot. So it's just like, but Walmart, nah. They can't just have someone just waiting on a spot to go stock for 8 hours and then go home and not make any more money. Like, they don't have that. Plus, like, my dad's job, you can make $400 in one day or $500 in one day and call it good. Like,
Right.
you can make that in one day. So,
Yeah, there's no way you're getting paid that in one day.
Walmart, no. Unless you're bigger management, but
I still doubt. Like, I mean, bigger management. If they're stepping on the floor, I doubt they're making that.
well, I've heard like the manager of that store
Mhm.
makes $125 an hour.
Yeah, that's high as fuck.
And you combine that with 8 hours, 9-10 hours, that's $1,100, $1,200 probably a day. That's $30,000 a month, 31,000. That's a lot of money a month.
That's a huge discrepancy between the people actually getting the work done and the person just. And the main difference is paperwork.
So, if you put that in perspective, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
To make that.
That's a huge discrepancy.
So, it hasn't been confirmed that those people made that in a day. But there's speculation. I haven't went up to my manager like, hey, Mike, do you make $125 an hour? Like, no, I won't do that. Because that's just like, he's going to look at me like, what the fuck? Like, why should I tell you how much I make a month? Or a day?
Right.
That's none of my business. But he does drive around a Prius, which I was quite laughing at. That if you make that much money and you walk in with a Prius every day, I'm gonna laugh at your ass. Like, what the
Well, I
fuck?
see here the average of the manager at Walmart in California is like 55,000 a year.
Really?
Yeah, so they're not making 30,000 a month.
Well, I don't know because
Well, this right here, yeah, this is from a different source. This one's saying 175,000 per year, which is double the other one. But
they're probably talking about like team leads, like team leads, not store team lead, but team leads. Because there's store team lead and regular team lead. So, well, I don't know. Because mine is a bigger store. And, like, if it's a smaller Walmart, they might make less money.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They might make less money if it's a smaller Walmart. But at the same time, there's even bigger Walmarts than my Walmart. Like,
Right.
my
And that wasn't including their bonus, which is a little more. That brings up that it. See, this one says their average is 55,000. The other, and then when their bonus comes in, it's like 100,000. And then over here it says they can be offered up to 200,000
God damn.
for store managers.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
That is, I mean, that's quite a bit of money. That's when you're getting into the good pay category. The real good pay is like what the average salary in the U.S. Yeah, the average salary in the U.S. is about like $59,000-$60,000. So
Really?
like, yeah, that's the average across the board. I mean, that has some outliers. People making a lot less, people making a lot more. But in average is like pretty much. I don't know if they removed outliers for this, but yeah, 59,000 is the average.
Now, I don't know. I just like for markets like that, like Walmart and Target, you have to slave for them. Like, you don't get a life, basically. You gotta miss out on all family activities, like Thanksgiving, all that shit. Unless you can get those days off. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, you miss all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get those abilities. But if you worked at, like, my dad's job, you'll get more of those abilities. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you rather want? Like, I would rather have more of a life where if I want to go on vacation, I can go on vacation.
So, I get it. I get what you want. Are you going to actually work for it?
Yeah. If it came down to it, like,
when are you going to start? Like you say, if it comes down to it, but you're saying right now you don't want to do this. You don't want to live the life you're living, right? Are you going to work for it? Are you going to come? When is it going to come down to it? When is it going to fold in? When is it going to come down to it?
when, like, if it came down to it to, like, make more money, of course I would do it.
Right, but when, like, is it going to come down to it?
When I
You
get
say,
it,
like,
when I apply at a job and they accept me, like, that's kind of like how it goes. Like, how it goes is like when you apply at a job, which I've been applying, but when they finally accept you, that's when it comes down to it. When they say, okay, we'll hire you. Cool. Now, you have to make the difference, as in do
actually
you
going and do that.
going and do that?
Actually, sometimes it's following up. Sometimes it's not just simply waiting, because
Well,
like they
yeah,
might
it's
not ever tell you.
yeah, it
Like,
is following up
do
and
the
whatnot.
follow up. Show the initiative, right?
Hmm. And that's another
Because like
thing
I know
too.
what at least one job you applied for, like you just waited and waited and waited and gave up. Obviously, at that point you probably waited way too long. But like maybe if you, it's not a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee. But like maybe if you would have shown some initiative.
Well, and plus, like, the email that I use gets so much emails anyway. So by the time I look at it, it's probably all the way down the fucking list. So that's why I had to make a brand new email that I only use for applying at jobs. Just so,
Did you?
yeah, I did. Just
So
so,
how many have you used? Have applied for with it?
just one. I just use one.
Just one.
Just one. But at the same time, I gotta go and apply for more. But I was applying with the email that was getting so much more other emails that wasn't about jobs. It was about Nike, Adidas, like anything else but jobs. So when I went and looked, it was already down the fucking list, and I just like fuck this. So I had to go get another email just so I can cut all the other email shit out. And when I go look at the email, it's all about jobs. It's all about this job said this, or this job did that, or this a job proved you, or this job declined you, or whatever the fuck. You know?
Right.
Just so you can take all the other extra stuff that you don't care about, per se, out the equation. You know what I'm saying? It's just about
So how
jobs.
many of the jobs that you applied for asked for a resume?
Every single one of them.
Every single one. Do you think there might be something wrong with your resume? Like not necessarily what's in it, but how it's like formatted.
Well, like, I don't really have like a resume. Like, a resume, I don't
right.
really
But like,
have one.
right. So like if it comes to something that like requires like skill in a certain area, right? Like there's no way you could go and like build that skill up, even though it's not your job.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You
like
say what?
I said, I don't like. Well, yeah, no, like I did have a resume. I just kind of lost it, and I haven't really felt like looking for it because I don't really know where it's at. It's somewhere in my room. But yeah, I think every job asks for resume. Every job I've done asks for a resume. But even Walmart asks for resume, but they don't. Like, Walmart just hires anybody because it's Walmart. They're just gonna hire anybody. But they put in what jobs have you worked for? What, and if you have, please explain what those jobs were. And you put those jobs in, which Walmart would be one of them, and you put it in, you call and that's what you put in. But they also ask for a resume too. If you don't have a resume, they put that in to make it more easy for you to put in a sub resume, if you want to call it. So it's a resume, but it's a sub resume.
Right.
So it's just like it could be one job, Walmart. What'd you do at Walmart? Stocking. How'd you like her? Why'd you leave? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or do you still work for Walmart? You know that shit. A sub resume. That's what I really call those, is a sub resume.
You're talking
So
about in that little like the thing you fill out when you go to apply. Yeah.
It's I would call it a sub resume because like they already had the shit planned out for you. You just gotta fill in the
Right.
points. That's what I call a sub resume. But they also ask for resume to see, okay, this is what you've done or what you have or what skills you have, which I did have a resume. I just didn't keep it in content, if you want to call it that way. But at the same time, it's kind of whatever, A resume is cool, but it's not like frowned upon if you don't have a resume, in a degree. But I don't know, like, at the same time, I'll just go as I go. Like, usually when I want to apply at a job, it's always when I'm at work and I'm stalking. And I can't do it because I can't just stop what I'm doing and apply. Like, I can't. It's not possible. And then when I'm on lunch, I do it in the applying is longer than expected. So then I gotta stop applying to go back to work. And then when I'm on break, I'm just like, and then when I have time, I'm just not in the mood to fucking do it. So that's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, well, you want to do it. It's just when you want to do it, you don't have time to do it because you're at work. And I only have an hour to, at lunch. So it's like some resumes take longer than an hour to do sometimes. So, and then you got to stop and do it later. And then when you get on break time, you kind of forget
Well, that's why you do it on days off, dude. You don't just have...
Yeah, that's true also. You do on your days off. And then when my days off hits...
Like, you're just coming up with excuses, man. Like...
Well, yeah, it's excuses.
It's excuses. Like, you're the reason why you're stuck where you're at. You have nothing, like, I mean, yeah, it's hard, and it's hard to get accepted at places. It's hard to, like, reach out. It's hard to, take the initiative. But that's what you got to do. You complain about, like, where you're at. Like, that, like, oh, it's going to be hard if you, like, because you sit and you look at where you're at now, and you're like, okay, so I could, like, you talk about how your parents are like, oh, this isn't going to last forever. And it's like, you're sitting looking at where you're at, and it's like, do you think it's possible with where you're at? Like, you being able to, like, without, like, I mean, obviously, like, you could get roommates and shit, but, like, do you think it's even possible?
No, it's not possible for me. Especially with that car. It's not possible. That car is expensive. And I haven't done maintenance on it yet because I've only put 7,000 miles on it. So I haven't even gotten to maintenance. Like, maintenance would probably be on a whole nother level. I've only done gas.
Right.
To be extent. Like, I haven't filled up oil yet. Like, changed oil. I haven't done that yet because I've only put 7,000 miles on it. My friend has put way more miles on his car than he has. And, yeah, he had, like, what, a month more than I did? 2 months more than I did? But even then, like, he still has way, because he goes, he had to go out and do shit. Or the job locations he had to go do. So, like,
right.
Yeah, he has way more miles than I do. But at the same time, like, that's not even including oil change, maintenance in general, just change with that car. Because it's a 4-cylinder, but it's a sports car. And it's a brand new sports car at that. You know what I'm saying? The 2022.
Right, it's expensive.
It's expensive. So, like, if I didn't have that car, I would be able to say I'll be able to pay for rent. But since I do have that car, paying for rent is like that check and the next check, and then I'm done. I'll probably have like $100, $200 in my name.
Right, and that's not including food or anything.
Does not include food or gas, even. Even gas, because you need gas.
And how much gas? As of right now? Like, how much gas does it?
It varies. It varies. Sometimes $40, sometimes 60, sometimes even more. Like, it's like, what, 11-gallon tank?
Like $40 isn't gonna get you through the month for food, and you'd be working negative.
Yeah,
like,
I'll be working way negative.
Basically, your car is too expensive for you to be working where you're at and be living on your own.
Yeah, that's basically it. So it's just like, yeah, I did get the car I wanted. Not totally wanted, but I got me a car that I liked. Is it too expensive for me? Possibility. Am I paying the payments on it? Yeah, I am. But, that's just because I have no other bills I gotta pay for. Just a car. And other, like, Microsoft and EA Play and some other bullshit. But other than that those bills ain't shit, though. It's the car. And that's not even including maintenance. You know what I'm saying? And the gas ain't shit either. So it's like, I haven't done maintenance on it yet. That's the key thing. I haven't done maintenance. Maintenance is a key thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I did have a better job, as in make more money, it wouldn't have been... if I was making $40 an hour, or throw in 24, $30 an hour. It'd be a lot more deficit, you know?
Less of a deficit. Deficit is a bad thing.
Okay, there'd be a lot more, there'd be a less, I don't even know why I said deficit, to be honest. There'd be a less more me, fuck, I need more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There'd be a less than that. It'd be a lot less. But at the same time, like, I did get the car. I could have got me a different car. I could have. I could have got me a commuter car like you did. Just a regular ass commuter car. I could have done that. But I didn't do that because I wanted something different. I wanted something that I can flash on and, you know, just something that I can, like, say, like, I got me a sports car. Or I got me a car that I can go to my little cousins or little nephews and say, hey, this is the car I had before you guys were born, or
Right,
before
right.
you
See,
can remember.
that's like the thing, I think, with Keith, because he's always talking about like all the cars he wants and shit, and
He's
like
always talking about that, but can he afford it?
he
Probably not.
right, and then he gets a car he's still like he has like troubles affording and shit. I know right now he's using his cousin's car, right? So he's doing all right, but like, and he's like struggling with like jobs and shit. But like he goes and like he makes, I know his jobs, he makes like pretty decent money. But like with the car he had, like that shit has him strapped. Like, don't matter how much money you're making if you can't afford what you're doing.
Well, his car is like $100,000 car. That's
Right.
$100,000 car he has. It's a Mercedes.
Had?
Doesn't have it anymore.
Oh, he got rid of it? I thought so. He was gonna do that
He got
because.
totaled.
Huh?
He got totaled.
What do you do?
I don't even know. I remember last time I talked to him when he had it. He was driving down the road and the tire popped. And yeah, like, and then after that, after the next time I talked to him, he's like, yeah, it got totaled and got into another wreck or something. Now he's driving his van.
He's using what?
Now he's driving his cousin's van around.
Fucking A. But, and see, like, he had all these things he wanted to do for that car. But he couldn't do it because he didn't have the money for it. You know what I'm saying? He had all these things he wanted to do for this car. But he didn't have the money to do it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the money to do it. Just like me, I have all these plans I want to do for my car, but I don't have the money to do it. So that's why I haven't done it yet. I can go and spend it all, but then what the fuck am I going to get? I'm going to get a car that I like, but I'm going to be negative. And who's going to want to do that? Fuck me. Like, hell no. Like, you got to do smart decisions instead of dumb decisions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can do all these mods for your car and spend all this money, but you're going to be in the negative. So, yeah, you got a now better sports car of mods, but your bank account is looking negative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of don't want that. You rather be in the positive and have a big mod sports car than be in the negative and have a big mod sports car. You know? Which I want to do to my car is modded, but all this shit's very fucking expensive. It's hugely expensive.
Oh yeah, it is.
And plus his Mercedes, which Mercedes is a top end fucking shit, it's gonna be expensive no matter what. Way more expensive than my shit will be. So like, you know, I feel like Keith is more of a dreamer and a thinker than a reality check person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He wants to do all this shit. He wants to have all the jobs that he talks about. But is he really going to get them? Probably not. And that's okay. But it's like, you know, it's okay to dream and talk about what you want to do and dream about what you want to do. But you have to put that into a reality. And reality...
Right, that's the same with you. Like, you don't want to... You're dreaming about getting out of Walmart. but you're
Yeah.
not in the effort.
Yeah, that's true. Like, people are like, well, why don't you go to Amazon? Amazon is a shit show as it is. Like, they work your ass from dawn till dusk type shit.
How much do they pay for you out there in Amazon?
I think driving is like 24.
24, and you're getting paid like 18 as an associate, right? At Walmart.
Yeah, but it's like, do I want to drive for Amazon? I don't want to drive for Amazon. Because all I hear is terrible things about Amazon. How they're a terrible company and they treat their fucking associates like shit. They basically
You should
slave
follow up
your ass.
about how, because he started driving for Amazon.
Who?
Keith.
They always do.
You said what?
They always do. There's a coworker that just left Amazon and went to the warehouse, or not left left Walmart and went to work at the warehouse at Amazon, and you're like, man, they're gonna work his ass to death. Cause
Is girlfriend still working there?
No, this is a different person.
I'm talking about Keith's girlfriend.
Oh no, his girlfriend got fired already.
Oh shit. Yeah, because I asked him about that, and he kept on like pretending like he didn't hear anything. I was like, "Oh, is your girlfriend still like working at Walmart?" And he like didn't say anything. I was like, I waited a couple more seconds. I was like, "Oh, is your girlfriend?" Because he was talking about like some problems they were having, like not they, but like some problems, and I was like, "Well, this, and this."
Well, that okay. So the many times I've talked to that dude Keith, and he showed up at my job many of times. And I've talked to them and hang out with him and stuff while I'm on break or lunch or whatever. And that dude is like he's a bum.
Yeah.
Like that dude, like, for one, his car smelled like weed. Like,
Well, yeah. Every time he calls me up, he's smoking in his car.
well, yeah, but his car like smells like weed, and that doesn't mean you're a bum. But when you put that into must, like stench, like odor,
Right.
it really like kicks in. You're like, fuck, this car smells so damn bad. Like the weed smell kind of mixes in with the must and whatnot. You're like, fuck, like this shit smells so bad. Like, oh my god. You don't even really smell the weed like that. You just smell musty. I'm like, fuck, like, bro, take a shower, man. Like, not like even when I wake up from 8 hours sleep, whatever, I don't smell like must. Like, the fuck, like, how long has it been since you took a shower? But yeah, like
Shit.
it's kind of like he became a bum. Like he's just like he stinks.
Like he gave up after he
Yeah.
had his something, or
Well, like he talks about him and his girl. Like his girl is like kind of like fine as hell a little bit. Like his girl, well, not fine as hell, but his girl's cute. And I saw his girl one time, but I didn't know that was his girl until she got out the car. She got out of his car, and it was her. I was like, oh shit, that's his girlfriend. And she had a baby, and she didn't even look like she had a baby. I was like, fuck, that's his girlfriend, because she fucking walked past me one time and she smelled good as fuck. I was like, girl, you smell good as hell. She's like, thank you. And next thing you know, that's his girlfriend. I was like, oh shit, fuck, oopsies. So I can't really get at her no more. But yeah, like that dude smell like shit. I'm like, bro, you smell so bad. And I didn't say it to him, but I was just thinking in my head, like, bro, this car stinks. Like, you smell like shit. You smell like you haven't taken a shower in, like, days, man. I don't know, like musty smell is, like, the most worst odor smell. Besides, like, smelling like shit, like, actual shit, is, like, the worst smell known to man. And then you mix that with weed, like, marijuana. It's even worse. To me. Itchy.
Yeah, I feel.
Like, it's even worse. I'm like, fuck, like, this dude smells like shit. But, I don't know. I feel like he's off the deep end right now. He's going off the
When's the-
deep end. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I mean, obviously, you didn't know he don't have his car anymore.
Yeah, I knew that that car was gonna get taken care of, or I knew he was gonna get rid of that car eventually because like it sounded fucking crazy. Like it was a VA and it sounded good. It's just it looked like shit, and that's all because he got it fucked up. He fucked up the car, and he wants to tell me, well, it wasn't my fault. Okay, whatever you say, Playboy. But knowing how your ass drives, it probably was your fault. But who knows? Who knows? But that's why I like to keep my car. Like, I drive crazy, but I don't drive too crazy where I'm like, fuck, I might get into a car accident. Like, I get my ways. Like, don't get me wrong. I get my ways. Like, as in crazy, but like, I don't drive like way too crazy where I'm like, if I keep driving like this, I might get into a car accident.
Right.
I've only gotten into like a couple of car accidents ever since I got my car.
You've been in a car accident in your car?
No. I said I've almost gotten into a couple car accidents in my car.
Oh, I thought you said you've only been in a couple of car accidents.
No. If I got into a car accident, I probably would cry. Cause like that
Oh,
car is
shit.
like my baby, and like if I fucking dent that car, I've scraped it. Like the bottom part's been scraped like a lot, and that's because it's
man.
so well. It's so low to the ground that sometimes I get scraped, and I'm like,
Right.
fuck. But it's
What
on the
was it?
bottom
2
part,
ago?
huh?
Oh, so then go ahead.
It's on the bottom part where if you're not looking at the car, you won't see it, basically.
Right.
But if you're looking at the fucking bottom, you're gonna see it's been scraped. But that's just because it's been so fucking low to the damn ground. You're like, well, shit. It's kind of impossible not to get it scraped.
Yeah.
And every time I've scraped it, I've clenched my booty hole. I'm like, fuck, that hurts.
What, going over speed bumps?
Yeah. Going over, or just like going over, like sometimes you're getting out of a plaza or like just out of a driveway or whatever, and you fucking hear that shit scrape. You're like, fuck me. And I want to get lower too, but I'm like, fuck, that's going to scrape it even more. Because my
You
car.
trying to lower it even more?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I want to get, like, lowered even more. But it's just like that, and then it's just going to scrape even more. And I'm like, well, fuck. It is what it is.
Yeah. I know I scraped mine real bad 2 winters ago. Like, I was, like, turning over into
that car you scraped?
Yeah, like, it was in the winter. Like,
Oh, okay.
snow and shit. Like, I was turning into a lane, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, the lane was pretty much, they shoveled up, like, most of the lanes, but they didn't shovel up that lane. So, like, I needed to get into the turn lane, and I was like, I'm gonna turn over, get into the turn lane. They didn't shovel it up, so, like, the snow, like, just, it was not fluffy snow. It was, like, freaking chunks of ice. So, like, it just, my heat shield is, like, torn to shreds.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fucked. I would have been pissed.
That's whatever.
I would have been fucking pissed. Like, I would have been like, fuck!
Turned into a rattle box.
I turned into a rattle box. Well, you hear rattling all the time now?
Oh, not after I pulled the heat shield off.
Oh.
I mean, but yeah, with the heat shield on, it was like, yeah. People would roll up their windows when they get by me.
That's fucked, man. No, like, I don't know, like, I could have got me a box. What the fuck? I could have got me a car that you had. You know what I'm saying? Just a basic ass commuter car. But the way I am, and you know the way I am, I didn't go that route. I went more the bougie route. And that's just what I gotta live with now because I did it and no one else did because no one had a bullet or a gun pulled to my head. So like,
Right.
no one can blame but me. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I've been thinking about getting another car, but it's like fuck, it's just so expensive that I couldn't afford it. Like, just so I don't have to drive my sports car all the time because it's my daily driver.
Oh, you're talking about getting a second car?
Just
I thought you were
like
gonna
just
say
like
that-
a commuter car, just like just a little commuter car, like a Volt even, just
Right,
to-
but you're already struggling to like
Y-
pay the bills on that one.
it's
What,
not
it's-
that I'm struggling. It's just
You say you're being left with like what, $200 a month?
no.
At the end of
It's
it?
not. Well, no, like I'm left with way more than that. It's I'm terrible. I'm terrible with money. I'm really bad with money. Like I kind of put myself in that hole because of who I am and because I'm terrible with money. I put myself in that hole. I could just go and get 99-cent burritos and call it a day, but I don't want to eat 99-cent burritos every day because then it's just gonna be boring and just like I want to mix up what I eat and then I get $5 meals or $15 meals sometimes because I'm like fuck. I'm
Right,
kinda
but it
really-
don't help that you're going eating out like all the time, like fast food
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah,
It's
and
like
that
shit is
doesn't help
cheap,
either.
but it's expensive. Like it's expensive because you can make it yourself for cheaper.
Well, like it's kind of like they've kind of made it that way where it's like you're paying $16 for food for like
Right, for something that you can make yourself. If you knew how to make it yourself, you can make it yourself. For, like, way
exactly, but like the only time you're paying $16 for food if you're and this is McDonald's and Jack in the Box. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to Chili's or Outback or some other restaurant, you're gonna expect to pay $16 for a meal in a way. But this is McDonald's, man. McDonald's. $16 for a meal. And that's just one person. That's not even like kids. That's just one. McDonald's. Like
That's
Me-
like what, damn near two Big Macs.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And a
like
fry.
that's what I'm
That's
saying,
legit,
like
2 Big Macs and a fry. Like
this is McDonald's and we're paying $16 for a meal. This Jack in the Box is getting to like sometimes $14. Taco Bell's is like 11, 12 depending. But like this is McDonald's and it's $16. I'm just like next thing you know McDonald's gonna be $20 for a meal. And you're like, what the fuck? Like $20 for a meal? That's a quarter way to $100. A quarter is 25, but you get what I'm saying. Like that's almost a quarter way to $100.
yeah.
Like, what are we gonna be paying $50 for a meal one day and just like fuck? We're paying as much as you go to a fucking fancy restaurant.
Like exactly. Like pretty much they're only gonna be able to get away with it as long as people are stupid enough to keep buying, right? Because like if you go and like I keep saying, like you go and make it yourself, it's gonna be cheaper. Like yeah, food at the grocery store is getting expensive too, but like compared to like the prices you're paying at like McDonald's and shit, and like
yeah, but it's just like oh shit. But it's just like like you want to go have some McDonald's here, and you want to go have some Jack in the Box, just mix it up a little bit, not eat the same shit every day over and over. Like it gets boring, like it starts getting stale.
I'm not saying eat the same shit every day. I'm just saying like knowing how to cook.
Yeah,
Like-
that's true too. Knowing how to cook, which I know how to cook, is just to a degree. Okay, to a degree, I know how to cook. I want to put that out to a degree, like making scrambled eggs, making eggs just in general, or making a fucking quesadilla or a sandwich or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
easy, but it's like I get lazy. I'm just like, fuck. Do I really want to go make this, or can I just go spend some money?
So is that like 300, 400% upcharge worth that laziness?
Well, no, but it's like I kind of like go through my head like, do I want to go make me something to eat, or do I want to get out of the house for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, go get me something to eat like that, and get out of the house and, get 2-in-1 type shit.
2-in-1.
You get out of the house and you go give me you go get me, and I get something to eat, and then I come home and be able to eat. It's a 2-in-1. And that's why I kind of go out as like, well, I can get out of the house for it, because I want to balance getting out of the house and staying inside. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but do you like what? Look, you can make food at home, right? You can get out, you can go chill somewhere.
But where am I gonna go? Like, I don't want to go to the mall by myself. Like, like.
You don't want to go to shoot some hoops.
Oh, well, like, yeah, that. But like, as of now, like, it's kind of like cold, so it's just like, well, fuck, you can't do that either. Like, if it's summertime, then yeah, I can see that. But like, it's cold now, and who wants to go play hoops in the cold? Like, unless it's an indoor gym, which you don't have a lot of those out here. So it's like, like, it's a terrible act. But it's kind of like, well, I get a 2-in-1, But at the same time, you gotta change that and stop using.
Well, you're also using that 2-in-1 analogy to justify it.
Yeah, like, you get out of the house and you get something to eat. Like, it's
Right,
justified, but at the same time, it's bad, because if you do that 3
I'm not
times,
saying it is justified. I'm saying you are justifying it.
yeah, it's
way.
just I'm justifying it. But it's bad. It's a bad justify. And that's why I kind of get into as a repetitive thing, as in, I want to get out of the house. I want to balance being in the house and getting outside and getting some fresh air. Because being in the house every day gets very boresome. You get very bored. You start to kind of forget about reality a little bit, and I don't like that. I kind of want to be in reality, because when you're in a room chilling for 12-15 hours a day, the only time you leave the fucking room is to go take a shower, or go shit or piss, or go get some dinner or whatever. It kind of gets a little icky,
Oh yeah.
So I kind of want to balance that, and I've been really good at balancing that. As in getting out of the house, not just to go get dinner or go get something to eat, but, going out to go play ball, or, getting out of the house to walk around the mall with some friends, just to balance that shit, because what I did from Mall for 2019 to Vanguard was really bad. Like, I would go to work, come home, sleep for 8 hours, and then play video games for the rest of the 6 hours, and then go back to work. In that repetitive scene. That's bad. That's terrible. But at the same time, that's why I try to make that more not a reality, as in, get out of the house, go play some ball, go do, go engage in the world, because yeah, you can engage in the world on the internet, but it's not the same. You're still in the house,
Right.
That's why I like to mix it up, and I've gotten really a lot of props with that in a way, by mixing it up a bit by, parents and, other people, like, you've been doing really good of not being in the house and mixing it up and doing all this such. But at the same time, when you put that 2-in-1 excuse onto it, it gets really bad, because yeah, you're spending money and you're getting out of the house, but you're spending money. You want to get out of the house, but not spend any money.
You want to try, like, I mean, not all the time. Like, cause, like,
not all the time. You're going to have to do it one way or another, but not do a repetitive thing. And that's what I kind of do, and kind of do it some more in a way, which I kind of should not have to. But, you get hungry. You know what I'm saying? When you're out, you get hungry, so you kind of have to spend some money. But at the same time, it's just, it is what it is. Sometimes it is what it is.
Right.
Maybe if I went to the gym a lot more, which I want to go back to the gym, to be honest, I'll get out of that wanting to get out of the house type shit. sit in the gym for 2 hours and work my fucking ass off. Like, that'll probably get rid of a lot of that engagement of wanting to get out of the house. But who knows sometimes. Because I like to balance that shit out. And whatnot. And I don't know, like, that whole era from Modern Warfare 2019 to Vanguard was just like something I don't want to go back to. Is that type of reality of just playing video games all day. Like, it's cool to play video games, but not all day.
Right, it's not healthy.
It's not healthy. Like, just because you were there from, like, a lot of it. I literally did from the time the sun came out to the time the sun went down. Like, I literally play video games all day, every day. And, and being in the house, what else am I going to do? Watch movies? That gets boring, too. So I go and play video games. But I want to balance that all out. I want a balance of playing video games and watching movies and watching TV and getting out of the house and wanting to go do some activities.
Right.
Getting some fresh air. Let your pores spew out,
I mean, I think, let's go back to, like, a little, before we get off here, let's go back a little bit
Yeah,
to,
because
like,
we've been going for a minute.
Yeah. Let's go back up and talk a little bit about, like, where you're at. Because, like, we started this tangent when you went and were like, oh, you were talking about, like, you don't know if you're depressed, you don't know that, and, like, talking about how your family, like, your dad was like, oh, this won't last forever.
Yeah, I hear you.
And, like, to get out of that, like, depressive, maybe not depression, but depressive phase, like, maybe, like, it might not be the easiest thing. It might be going against the grain for you, but, like, something that, like, just work a little harder on it. Work a little harder towards, because that, like, you wouldn't be able to make it working at Walmart. Like, what, like, figure out what you can do. You don't want to be a manager at Walmart. You don't want to go be doing all that.
Well, it's not like being a manager is bad at Walmart. It's good, but it's just
you
like...
just don't want to. You just don't want to do that.
I just don't want that.
You just need to put effort into...
Well, yeah, it's all about effort, It's all about that type of effort, and I'm slowly getting, there in a way. It's just, it takes time. Like, time is everything. Like...
Right. Instead of, like, because you have those days where you play video games, you have those days where you go out for multiple hours. You say now it's like, oh, it's becoming winter, so, like, you don't really want to go hang out as much. Like,
well, not go hang out, go to the park. Like, go to, you can go to the mall or go to, everywhere else, but, like, the park is, like, it's kind of cold outside, like.
Right. But I'm saying, like, you can spend some of that time that you would have maybe done some of that and, like, actually put a little more effort towards
going to go find a job.
Yeah, do something you actually want to do. So, because, like, you have those thoughts, right? And having those thoughts isn't really the problem. It's the refusal to face them. Like you say, it's like trying to avoid your issues. Like, you not really avoid, but, like, doing something to, like, get over your issues instead of facing them, which is avoiding your issues. But, like, if you actually face them and put effort towards it, like, maybe you can get out of that phase of where, like, you're just looking at yourself and, like, kind of feeling depressed, kind of feeling that way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, like, it's kind of like it's something that, like, is not like what is a thing that keeps bugging you and whatnot. There's a word for it and whatnot.
Irritating?
Not irritating, but, like, really
a nuisance.
Nuisance. That's what it's a nuisance. It's not like it's a nuisance. In a way, it's just like
it's not happening all the time, but it happens.
It's not happening all the time, but it happens to where the point where, like, I dwell on it while I'm at work. and I want to do it, but I can't because I have other fucking priorities I gotta do, like do my job or whatever. So it's like I can't just stop everything.
Right, doing it at work is not the right time. Focusing on it at work is not the right time. But like some of that free time you have,
Well, yeah,
like where you want to do something else, where you're like, because that's the time when it's like that's the time for you to be getting on it.
Yeah, totally. But it's just like it kind of goes back to where everything else is just like it kind of happens, not all the time, but mostly every time it happens, I'm at work where like I want to do it, and I'm at work and I can't do it, so it fucking bothers the shit at me. Where it's just like I'm not dwelling on it, but I'm like, fuck, I want to fucking apply for some more jobs, but I can't do it because I'm at work. And then when lunchtime happens, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then it happened. The application is longer than a fucking hour. I'm like, well, shit. I gotta stop and I'll do it when I get home, and then when I do my sleep or whatever, and I wake up,
you don't think about it.
Yeah, I don't think about it. So it's kind of like a repetitive thing where it's just like,
right. And like I just said, like don't do it at work. Don't even think about doing it at work. Like that's not the time to be thinking about it. Like I know that's the time when you have a lot of like open in your mind and shit, and like and stuff like that. But like really, you just got to start doing it at home anyway. Like when you have, that's the time to think about it, because that's the time you're not promising your time. You're not trading your time for something else.
That is true. That is true. Like I'm not you're not wrong.
Because like you only got 30 minutes for that break. That break isn't something you should be like stressing. Like an hour, 30 minutes. You only got an hour for that break. You shouldn't need to be stressing like during that time. That's supposed to be your like time to like, just take a break, chill.
Yeah, and I do that, but like I don't know, at the same time, like, well, fuck, I should do some applications. Like, I should do some applying, and I do that, and then lunch is over. I'm like, well, fuck, now I gotta go back, and I can't do it no more.
Right, you spent all that time, like, rushing to get through those applications. You're seeing how long it takes and all that, and it's like, I mean, you just need to start doing stuff at home. Like, you know where you want. You don't want to be there. You don't.
Well, like, like I've kind of made where, like, not made, but I kind of, like, persuade as, like, YouTube is just a hobby right now. Even though, of course, I would love for YouTube to pop off and, like, where I can just do YouTube full-time and call a day. Who doesn't want that? But as of right now, that's not a thing. That's not reality. That's a dream, If NOScast ever does pop off, which who really knows at the end of the day, then we can get somewhere. But, if streaming and NOScast and, this other stuff doesn't ever pop off, as of right now, it's just a hobby.
Right, exactly.
It's just a hobby. Do I want it to pop off? Sure. Who wouldn't want that? But having it, like, for a career, who wouldn't want that either? But that's not a reality right now. It's not even close to probably a reality right now,
Right, exactly.
It's just something that I would love to happen, but it's not going to happen right now. It takes time, it takes effort, and you got to take other...
And a little bit of luck, because, like, it's
a little bit of luck, too.
It's the people that are following you, people that are looking at you, or that makes it happen. Any YouTuber that says they made it happen is lying, because it's the people watching them that made it happen.
Well, okay, like, yes, you're not wrong, but at the same time, like, okay, it's just like, making a maybe. It takes two to tango, Mm-hmm. Yes, he had to make the videos, he had to put in the effort, but the people watching watched also. You know what I'm saying? So it is a both ways type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where, yes, your fans did watch your videos, and yes, you did make the videos and edit them and the whole stuff.
Right, you wouldn't have fans if you didn't make the videos to begin with. Like.
Exactly. So, yes, you're not wrong, but at the same time, he did do or that person did do some effort to make a reality.
Right, but
You
a
know,
lot of it is luck because
yes, a
garnering
lot
the
of it
fans.
is luck. A lot of
Yeah.
it is luck. But at the same time, if you put the right tables or put the right things into your area, it becomes more than just luck, I think.
Right, you can bring the odds into your favor. That's like what people like, following the algorithm, like trying to see what the trends are.
Uh-huh.
People putting that kind of effort into doing that type of stuff. Like they have a higher than chance likelihood of doing it. People just doing it without thinking about it. They're all up to chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which,
Which I'd say that's probably where you're at is like all up to chance. Like
yeah, that's probably true also. But at the same time, like, to me, like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't,
mm,
kind of like, oh well, you know.
right.
It's not like I'm gonna stop doing it, but it's just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I'll just keep doing it until it probably does happen, or I'll just do it till I can't do it anymore, you know.
Mm,
Till like obligations come through where I just can't. That's not an obligated thing anymore, you know.
it's not something that you can put your effort towards.
Yeah. So whenever that does come to play, then it is what it is. By the same time, I take life the way it is. Down through memory lane, take a stroll. Like, it's just what life puts the lane into me, or I said that all wrong. What other lane I go into to life, that's the lane I'm gonna be in.
Right. I got you.
And if YouTube's my lane, then YouTube's my lane. If it's not, then or streaming or whatever, then oh well. It is what it is. But I do enjoy doing NOScast. Like, I do enjoy that. It's not
Right. It's
even.
like an hour or two of us just chit chatting about like what's up. It's like therapy in a way.
Yeah, it is like therapy, but I did talk to you this before off stream or off filming and whatnot, but it's not even editing anymore because the editing is the easy part. It's picking
The video.
the video I want to use for the NOScast, because
I
I
got you.
I got tons of fucking videos I can just
And you
put.
keep making more and more.
Well, it's
Like
not even just that. Like, I've kind of stopped making them. Um it's picking the ones I want to use,
yeah.
and I've gotten to the point where it's just like, I want to use this one, but this one looks better, or I want to use that one, or that one's too short, I gotta use this one, or I kind of get into like, I just get picky, and I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm so picky about
Which I mean, that's kind of a
gameplay.
good thing if you actually want to like, because like editing together things like that's a skill, right? Like
Mhm.
you have like if you want to get a job in like video editing or something like that, like this is the part that like being able to show that. I mean, building your skill here, like because I mean, I'd say you're probably like, I mean, you're better than the person that doesn't know how to edit at all. But like people that are doing it as a job, I'd probably say you're probably bottom 20% maybe. That's not a bad thing. You're
I
better
wouldn't
than
even know what my skill would be at, to be honest with you, because like, I'm still learning editing till this day. Like, I'm still learning fucking Shotcut. Like, Shotcut is very detailed editing software where, like, I kind of get lost sometimes. Like, I get lost because I don't know where shit goes, or like the icons that they use doesn't follow what it does or whatever.
Right. It don't make sense to you
It doesn't
sometimes.
make sense. And Shotcut is a good editing software. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it gets the job done. I would say so myself.
Right.
And that's the only thing I really use was Shotcut. I never used anything else besides Shotcut because you're the one that put me onto it. So
it's like not the hardest, it's not the easiest. It's like
Yeah, like probably
yeah.
Sony Vegas is a lot harder to use. I would say so myself.
Sometimes those, because I haven't used Sony Vegas, but sometimes those like things you pay for, because like I started for my art class, I started using Photoshop in it. I've been using GIMP for years, like no education on it, and I'd say like GIMP is probably a little bit more difficult to use than Photoshop. Photoshop you pay for, but it's a so lot easier to use. It's a whole lot easier to use than GIMP.
See, Photoshop, I was, I trained on, like, not trained. I learned on Photoshop, as in,
Mhm.
like, editing photos and making like these masterpiece
You
photos.
had a class in school?
Yeah, I did a class in
Yeah.
school. I think for 2 years I did, and I learned Photoshop and I kind of mastered it in a way. And then I haven't used it in a bit, so I kind of lost all that.
Yeah, I learned CAD in school, but I never I learned Autodesk and shit like that. I never used it outside of school.
I never used Photoshop outside of school either, but like at the same time, like Photoshop, you have to buy, and I
Yeah,
think
Photoshop
you can buy it permanently, can't you?
not anymore.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it's a subscription.
Well, I don't know, but at the same time, like my school
I mean,
had it for free. I think.
now
I think they
cool,
got it.
but
Huh?
I got it for free right now at the school. But as soon as I leave the school, then I gotta get rid of all that software. I mean, technically, I know. I won't give their names, but some of the teachers are like, "Oh yeah, I don't give a shit if you pirate shit, but don't say I told you that."
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, but at the same time, like I didn't know what Shotcut was until you told me about Shotcut. The only editing software I knew about was Sony Vegas. Every fucking YouTuber, when YouTube came out, was using Sony Vegas.
Right.
Everyone was using
When
it.
and like what's industry standard, because sometimes what's industry standard isn't the best,
Uh
right?
huh.
It's just what's industry standard. Like it, like that's what everybody's using, so that's what's expected for everybody to use. But sometimes there's something better that's out there, but it's not standard. So like nobody in industry is using it, but it could be better than what's being used in industry.
Yeah, that's true. Also, that's true. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I would say like I'm all right editing. I still do like the basic of basic. If
Right.
I got into more like doing music videos and stuff, that would be a totally different. But I haven't gotten into that because I
I
haven't
mean,
had.
yeah, like you have your friend, like I don't know. I'd say build your skills because like a resume isn't necessarily just having a job in an area, but like
Mm-hmm.
build your skills, like practice something, like spend some of your free time, like maybe not playing video games, but like because you say you got plenty of footage, and like you could spend some of your free time, like building a skill that is like something that a job is looking for. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like practice and stuff. Um,
Well,
because
like,
that can apply to your resume and having like and especially if it's something like in the field where you're actually producing something, then it's not something that's like, oh yeah, I did this and you have nothing to show. Like you say I did this and you have something to show. Like
well,
if you
it's not even like yeah, you're not wrong, but at the same time, like editing takes a lot of work. Like it's
it does.
not. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of precise and like
Right, but
you
if you how much time do you think you'd spend like on the days you do edit, how much time do you think you'd spend on it?
hours,
Hours, like how
hours.
many? 5, 4?
Four, sometimes four
Okay, so
hours. Like,
you had it as a job, now imagine doing it like 8 hours a day. So like if it takes you 4 hours to do something, and like you could get a turnaround on something, right? Pretty
uh
quick. And
huh.
like if you were to like actually spend an 8 hours a day on it, then like if you had the practice and like you were learning stuff and like you were building your skills up, like and you actually spent 8 hours a day, then you could have more time to spend on the meticulous details that you talk about.
Exactly. And like I could do that, but it's more like me going and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I
You're getting
could
your I'd
like
say like, but you have your logo. Do you put your logo on your videos?
well like the YouTube thing does like where you like You know how
Yeah.
YouTube does it where it puts it to the side of the
Yeah,
corner or
do
whatever?
it automatically.
Yeah, it does that.
Yeah.
But I sometimes put my I put my logo up where like I'm towards the end of the video and I'm not and like basically I'm out of footage. Like I'm not gonna use like a 2 minute 2 minute length more just to put some like 2 minute footage in where I can just put my logo up and call it a day. Like that's usually what I do. So like if I take an hour and 30 minutes or 2 hours of video footage and we record for like maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes or some shit, I'll use a 2 hour video or 2 hours of footage, put another 30 minutes of footage up, and then the rest of if we have like 15 minutes left, I'll just put NOS up there and call it a day. Like I'll just put a logo up there and call it a day.
Right.
Because there's like to me like there's no point.
Right.
So that's what I would do. Like I would like if it's very small, like maybe a minute left, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes left, maybe, I'll just put my logo up there and call it like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, before we get off, I'd say, I mean, I know I got some things because like I got some internships I could possibly get for next summer. Like some of them are like pretty good.
computer science.
Yeah, like I'd have to go out and get some. Like I'd have to leave and get some training, but some of them are like work from home, but I'd still have to like leave for the training and shit. But some of them are
these
Chicago.
Microsoft, Google, like?
One of them's for in oh shit, I have it in my notes, but it's like a branch of the Department of Energy.
I don't know that.
It's a government like
Okay,
paid thing.
that would be cool. Government shit.
It has like $650 a week stipend.
That ain't bad.
No,
That's decent.
and it's
I
not
get
like
$650 a
specific
week.
hours either.
Huh?
It's not even like specific hours either.
Oh, so you can just do it whenever you want to.
Right.
That's cool. Well, I get paid like $650 a week
Yeah.
to an extent.
And it's like, I know that one has like housing, like they have because that one's in Chicago. So like they have like on-site housing and shit, and like that's all paid for.
Could you get raises too?
I'm not actually working for the company. It's a stipend.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's like that's just the amount of money I like. Doesn't matter. They're not calculating the hours I work. Like they just $650 a week stipend. Like you get $650 a week for being a part of the program.
That ain't bad. And then like, is there any way for you to actually be part of the company or no?
Not. I mean, that program could probably help because they have stuff, but like, they do like research and stuff like that. Like I have it. I was avoiding to pull out my notes, but like, it's with the specific company name because I have all these acronyms that they have for it. I know it's a part of the Department of Energy. That one's RSE, Research Software Engineer.
Mm-hmm.
ANL.gov. That's the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I don't know. Like that's cool though. But okay. So before
it's
we
Argonne.
it's
National
Argonne.
Labs. Argonne National Labs. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I don't even know what that is to be honest. But before we officially get off, is there anything more things you need to say before we get off?
No, I mean, we just need to, take our steps because, like, I mean, what I was thinking about, signing up for some of those internships, but like, I've been kind of like iffy on it, like.
The government
like,
one, I think you should do, because who doesn't want to work for the government?
I don't know. I might. I have like till early January to get everything figured out. I got to get references and everything. I'm probably gonna spend this week probably looking into that, getting everything gathered, maybe. But like, yeah, we both need to just fucking put in the effort. Like, put in the effort.
And two, when are we officially like gonna meet up like in the real world? Like, Because that's been a thing that we've been talking about for so
Yeah,
many years.
I need to finish my school. Like, if I run into some money, because like right now, I'm making bare minimum to
Yeah.
be doing what I'm doing. Right, I'm
Mhm.
working only 10 hours a week, barely enough to like pay all my bills. Right,
Mhm.
um, in school, like if I, you know, get paid, like if I was to get that, then I'd probably be able to afford to come out before school starts back up, and yeah,
Because I know, like, me and you've been talking about. Because me and Derby even talking about meeting up for like years and years and years, and like it never happened. And I know me and
yeah,
you've been talking about
I know.
meeting up for years, and like,
Keith too. Keith is like, oh, when are you gonna come out here? It's like,
uh,
yeah, if I run into some money or when I finish school, because when I finish school, I could end up anywhere at that point,
shit, you probably run into Google.
maybe.
Who wouldn't want to work for Google? Like that's like a
Yeah,
life. That's like a fucking dream job working for Google.
yeah. Especially if I was to get the internship, that'd probably put me in a good. So that's like for like doing research and
Uh
stuff.
huh. Actually, did you? I'm getting off topic, but did you watch the movie Internship with fucking what's their face and whatnot?
Yeah, I
It's
saw
about
that movie.
Google. That
Yeah,
I don't know if Google is really like how they filmed it, but it looks hella fun. Like
yeah,
working
yeah,
for Google.
yeah. They are like that. Like I mean, not exactly, but like they have like the campuses with the like the scooters and the shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, all right. That's it. We're gonna sign off. See y'all later. Peace out, Girl Scout.